folks, this is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week, we go 9 hours a day, we go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone's having a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Love coming out of you makes you happy. The whole world can love you, but that is not the love that'll make you happy. What will make you happy is to share all the love you have inside of you. That is the love that'll make the difference. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We have the Dow Industrials up 146, NASDAQ up 22, S&P's up 12. Gold contract up $7.70, trading at $1,326 an ounce. Silver up 19 cents at $19.96 an ounce. Platinum up 7 at $1,465 an ounce. Copper flat at $3.04 a pound. Light sweet crude 103.58. That was flat out here today. Bonds, we had the 10-year down 8 ticks at 124.17. 30-year off 10 ticks at 134.15. King dollar, top side at 307, 307 ticks at 79.83. The euro down 66 at 138, and the yen up 17, trading at 101.79. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? Okay, we're up 14 bucks. You did 667 million shares versus 815. We're setting up the B to a C of a very large ABC structure on the way down. Depending how this shakes out, folks. Your A point is 1897 up at the high, and your B is 1814. This baby can get a bounce going pretty easy to 1863. We'll see what she brings up at that particular level. But I figure 1863 is in the cards right now, which is another 33 points topside on the S&P. We're going up with lighter volume. You come down with volume, up with lighter volume. It's the B to a C of an ABC structure on the way down. Dow Industrials. Dow is up $146. Your A point on this is the high, which is the 631. Your B is 15, so it's a 600-point A to B. This little baby here can bounce up to they can bounce another 100. I say I can bounce 173 we're at. Go to 400. That's another 225 that bounce can come in at. Now is that composite. We take a look at the composite. Now what had happened is this. The composite already did an ABC structure down, and the small caps did. They're setting up an additional one. You know, the composite did the full A to B equals C to D, broke with volume, did all of the above. Composite, guess what, wants to bounce too. Now, the composite, the high in the composite is 43.71. The low on Friday was 39.91. The swing low from the 5th is 39.68. So composite, this composite, we'll see if she had enough juice to get up like another 170 points, but I suspect it's not going to have enough juice to get that far. It should have enough juice, though, to go up about another 90 points. And right now, went up 22 today. So 90 would be a good little bounce to get going. That bounce, what we have happening is that's setting up to go after the October swing low, folks. That's what's on the table right now. Excuse me. Small caps. Small caps out here today. That was up, the Russell was up 3. We're at 11.14. That little baby can bounce up, and have a heck of a bounce. The first area, yeah, this is going to get deviant. She can bounce a good another 30 points, which would be a monster bounce. Bottom line is that if we take a look at, we'll use the iShares inside the IWM first. And what you have with the iShares is this. She does 61 million shares today. You know, we came down on 74 million. You come down on 71 million. That was on the dailies. We take a look at the weeklies. What you have with the weeklies is this. Last week, we did 317 million shares going into the October 5th swing point with 315 million. So what you're doing there is you pound it on the swing point, you pound it on the swing point with volume. That's saying bottom line. Now we're going up with lighter volume. That's saying you're going to be back down. And what is game is the October swing low in all the indices. And when we start talking about October swing low Actually, it's going to be November in the small caps. That November swing low is 76 bucks, and you're at $1.10 right now. If we take a look at the 3 Qs, what you have is this. First, I'll put this on a weekly basis so you can see where we're at. On a weekly basis, what we did last week, the swing low from October 5th was 83.39. Your volume there was 216 million. The prior week, we had done 272. So you did 272 the last week of January, first week of February, you did 216. Last week, folks, we did 348. So it blew it all out of the water. What that sets up is that sets up the October and November swing low. And in this particular case, that's a big number because, yeah, it sure is. That sets up, there she is right there. Okay, so October, the low of October is 76, and we're at 84. You know, and the Qs also bounced on lighter volume today. Now, this is really cool. So we're going to go over the SPY. I'm going to show you something on the SPY, and this is why this bounce is coming in. Well, the markets, you know, they love, bottom line, going down or up, and then you do a nice counter-trend bounce, and they do the next leg. The SPY, SPY, came down last week, and when we came down last week, it came down at 694 million. Well, you're going into 880 million. That's why this bounce is coming in, number one. That totally makes sense. Why? Because the amount of energy that it took, number one, for the SPY to break was pretty intense, and it really did not break apart. You know, the SPY was the last thing to basically go south. The SPY had just gone from 189.70 down to 181.31, which is a good acceleration down. You're talking about 80 S&P points. I suspect what you're going to get here now is this. We got it today. You're going to bounce on lighter volumes at 128 million shares. It should contract again tomorrow. In the contraction tomorrow, what I'd want to see is that it contracts under the 128. You know, we came down with 140 million. You came down with 169 million. You came down with 172 million. You came down with 167 million. You contract under the 128, then that's setting up the B to C of an ABC structure on the way down. Realistically, it all has to stay under the 167 and 170. The reason I want to see something lighter than the 128 is that what that would be showing is that we came down, and as we start going higher, it keeps losing volume. That means what? That means distribution is happening inside the marketplace. Gold contract. We talk about distribution. Well, it's happening, and gold is getting really tricky in here, folks. The part that's getting tricky is that the contract itself has gone up the last 2 weeks. The equities have had 2 or 3 false starts. You know, the contract 2 weeks ago was at 1278. We're at 1326. Not that that's a lot, but what the contract has done is this. We did 132,000 contracts out here. We are coming right into the downdraft that had been created off the high. That downdraft is the 19th, and on the 19th, that's where gold went from 1360 to 1327 in a heartbeat. Now, if you want to see the correlation, in fact, we'll do this right now, because this morning, this correlation, yeah, look at this, man. This is deviant. So check this out. The GLD this morning, folks, okay, at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, the GLD had 4.4 million shares that were already traded. The GLD was going into the downdraft from the 19th of March. 19th of March, we had 12.9 million. Now, many times I've told everyone, you know, when you're doing volume characteristics, you know, you take the volume, you know, let's say 2 hours into it, you divide it by 2 and then multiply it by 6.5. On the indices, that works really good on a continual basis. You have to add extra in for the last hour, but it works really fairly well. The GLD, it doesn't fly. If you get the gold report, you know what I put out here this morning, and this is why. When I was looking at the GLD this morning, you got to remember something. The way that the GLD is set up, number one, and all the ETFs are set up like this, but the GLD I've watched over the years, and this is how this thing works. At 11:28 this morning, one trade was 756,000 shares. What that was, folks, more likely was State Street creating shares, buying the shares for what? To keep the net asset value the same. So it skewed the number very quickly. You stay right there, folks. We'll come right back.